Yo, what's going on, good people? It's your boy Eric, YouTube. Just doing a mic check, trying to find a decent mic. So I bought this majority microphone a few months ago, probably mid 2025. Yo, what's going on, good people? And if you can hear me, YouTube, just doing a mic check, trying to find a decent mic. Yeah, that's me. I'm trying to listen to myself from the back. Trying to hear myself, see what it sounds like. It sounds pretty decent, man. I didn't want to use it because it didn't come with an interface. It's just a plug and play type deal. It's supposedly be a compression microphone. That's again just plug and play. So right now I have it plugged up directly into my laptop. Right, USB 3.0 to USB, I think it's a B type. Pretty much it's the same cord you would use inside of a printer. So that USB printer cord that you would use to plug up to your computer or your laptop, from your printer to your laptop or computer or USB or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's that kind of a cord. And so I bought it a few months ago. Now, I didn't like it, right? I didn't like it because to me it sounded bad. And I was listening to it from my laptop. And I didn't like it. And so I don't know if it's the way my laptop sound I didn't like, or if I was speaking into the wrong end of the microphone. I don't know. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to go online on my laptop and listen to it. Right now I have it on my phone, but I want to go online and listen to it. I have to be at work today in about an hour or less than an hour already, but that's what I'm going to do. So let me find my channel on YouTube, Bangarang Live. Now let me listen to it live and see what it sounds like. All right, be patient with me. Or less than an hour already, but that's what I'm gonna do. So let me find my channel on YouTube, Bangarang Live. Now let me listen to it live and see what it sounds like. All right, be patient with me. Or less than an hour already, but that's what I'm gonna do. So let me find my channel on YouTube. Cool. That's it. It don't sound bad, man. I don't know. So I was listening to it, right? I will record it, OBS, right? And then I will save it on my laptop in a file, go to that file and play it back in the media player. But it sounded airy. It's like, you know how it sounds when you have the gain up too much and like no highs, no mid. That's what it sounded like to me. But now listening to it, right? Did I pause it? Now listening to it on the laptop, it sounds pretty decent. Even on my phone, it sounds pretty decent. Let me listen to my phone again. That's what it sounded like to me. But now listening to it, right? Cool. That's it. It don't sound bad, man. I don't know. So I was listening to it, right? I will record it, OBS, right? And then I will save it on my laptop in a file, go to that file and play it back in the media player. But it sounded airy. See, it sounds pretty good, man. Like, I don't know. I think I may have been speaking into the wrong end of the microphone. I think I had it turned around. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, right? I had it turned like this. Now listening to it, and I will be speaking into it like this on the laptop. And I'm guessing because of the way it sounds right even now, on my phone, it sounds that's the reason why it sounded bad. So hold on for a minute. Let me listen to my video to see if I can hear that. Right? Cool. So on my my laptop is behind. So I was listening to it, right? I will record it, and I don't know how far my let me see how far my save it on my laptop
in the file, goes to that file and play it back in the media player. But it sounded airy.
See, it sounds pretty good, man. Like, I don't know. I think I may have been speaking into the wrong of the microphone. I think I had it turned around. You know what? Let me look at my laptop. I think my laptop is lagging pretty far behind. So here we go. And I will be speaking into it
on the laptop.
And I'm guessing because of the way it sounds right
even
now.
On my phone, it sounds
that's the reason why it sounded bad. So hold on for a minute. Let me listen to my video to see if I can hear that. Right.
Cool.
So on my my laptop is behind.
So I was listening to it, right? I will record it,
and I don't know how far my let me see how far my
save it on my laptop in the file, goes to that file and play it back in the media player. But it sounded airy.
See, it sounds pretty good, man. Like, I don't know. I think I may have been speaking into the wrong of the microphone. I think I had it turned around. You know what? Let me look at my laptop. I think my laptop is lagging pretty far behind. So here we go. And I will be speaking into it
on the laptop.
And I'm guessing because of the way it's. Now I'm going to do this again because, as you can hear all that stuff going on in the background. The reason why you can hear that is because I have the audio on my computer also recording on OSB. And I don't want that to happen. So what I want to do is just, hold on, I'm doing it again. So again, I can't really hear it. I can't hear, but kind of sort of. But just to have a crisper, clearer sound, I had OSB also recording. I mean, I had the computer, my laptop, which I'm recording on, and I'm also playing YouTube off of. I had the audio from the YouTube video playing on the laptop as well, which is also being recorded as I'm talking. So as I'm talking, you hear the delay from YouTube, the YouTube video playing in the background, which is muted. And you also hear me, right? So right now I've muted the audio for OSB for YouTube. Is also playing on my laptop that I'm recording on. So I'm going to turn the microphone to you. I was recording and speaking into the microphone like this when I first got it, not paying no attention. I mean, I'll just have to turn the microphone around the right way. On the front on the microphone, or the spot you're supposed to be speaking into, is the logo. It's the name of the company, Majority. And I would just put it in there and then just start talking to it like this. And I want to see what this sounds like talking to it like this, because I think that's where my problem came in at. And it's the reason why my sound was bad. My sound sounded bad to me when I first got it. I never used this thing. But I'm going to turn it. I found out that I should be talking into this part where the Majority logo is, or the name is, because that's the front of the microphone. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back towards the Majority logo. Now, this is the right way I'm supposed to be talking to it. Now, hopefully, this sounds pretty decent, right? Hopefully, this is what it's supposed to sound like. Now, I'm going to go back to YouTube and listen to it. Give me one quick second. Let me do just that. I want to see what this sounds like talking to it like this, because I think that's where my problem came in at. And it's the reason why my sound was bad. My sound sounded bad to me when I first got it. I never used this thing. But as a matter of fact, I'm going to mute my microphone and unmute it on OSB. I'm going to turn it back towards the Majority logo. Now, this is the right way I'm supposed to be talking to it. Now, hopefully, this sounds pretty decent, right? Hopefully, this is. Yeah, that's definitely different. So I should have the microphone facing this way. And even so, I can also turn down this a little bit because it's pretty high. I'm all the way in the red for my dBs right now. And excuse me. And I don't need to be that high, right? So I want to be maybe like somewhere right there, and let's see what that sounds like. Let's see how that sounds. So now I'm going back to YouTube to listen to it, okay? And I'm going to unmute it so you can listen to it as well. Yeah, that's definitely different. So I should have the microphone facing this way, and even so, I can also turn down this a little bit because it's pretty high. I'm all the way in the red for my dBs right now, and excuse me, and I don't need to be that high, right? So I want to be maybe like somewhere right there, and let's see what that sounds like. Let's see how that sounds. So now I'm going back to YouTube to listen to it, okay? And I'm going to unmute it so you can listen to it as well. Caught me with a piece of candy in my mouth, but yeah. That sounds a whole lot better. I think I'm going to use this microphone from now on. Yeah, that's definitely different. So I should have the microphone facing this way, and even so, I can also turn down this a little bit because it's pretty high. I'm all the way in the red for my dBs right now, and excuse me, and I don't need to be that high, right? As you can see, it's like not bad, right there, not bad at all. Let me cut that down. Mute that. Because you don't need to hear that. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad microphone. I was trying to show you this. I don't know what this is called. I mean, you got your pop filter. You got your POTUS, whatever that thing is called, filter. This goes on like this for me to talk into. I don't know the point of this thing. I'm not a audio video. I don't know much about audio, but I'm learning. I'm enjoying the journey. I love learning about new things. I really do. And so I'm learning about this stuff and what all this stuff do. I know pop filter. There's a name for this thing. Whatever it's called. Start with a P. Pulses or pulse something. Put this screws on. You probably hear me screwing on to the mic, but it goes there and it goes in front of it, and you can just angle it however you want to angle it. And I don't know what this is supposed to do or what it's supposed to make it sound like or how this is supposed to help, but it's supposed to do something. And I'm pretty sure it is doing something, but that's what I'm doing right now, testing all this stuff out to see what it does. Let me listen to how it sounds on the YouTube. Give me 1 second. So it doesn't sound bad. It sounds pretty good. I'm definitely happy with it. I think I'm gonna stick with it. Make a few adjustments. I don't know if my laptop is my laptop. If my table is too high, because this is, you don't even want to see what I'm working with. But I don't know if my table's too high, but I feel like the microphone is too high. I'm on the stool, counter high chair. Chair is made for counter high seating. and I feel like I'm too low. I do feel like my microphone is too high, and this table is too high. So I made this table. It's a collapsible table. I do woodworking, and so I work off this table. So I don't have much space, so everything has to be compact. But that's what I'm working with, and it's pretty high. It's probably 40 inches tall. I like to work off a high stuff. I'm a tall guy. I'm not huge, but I'm tall. I like to work at a certain level when I'm working with my hands. But this doesn't sound bad. The volume, like I said, I knocked it down to -10 dBs. And I'm gonna leave it there. It doesn't sound bad. Like I say, I was a little bit skeptical about it because I couldn't connect it to my board. I have a little small board here, 2-channel board that I use to record off of, and I was skeptical about the way it sounded. Like I said, I was talking into it the wrong way. I would have the microphone turned the wrong way, and so either you probably seen the majority sign when I was recording, or it was on the side, which means I wasn't speaking directly into the front of it, so it didn't sound too good. But this is not bad. Excuse me, I'm a little phlegmy today. But this is not bad. I feel like my phone is a little bit more on time. I don't think it's that much of a gap in between versus my laptop, which I'll just go back as well and look at this stuff as well, man, and see what's what. But either way it go, I feel like the sound is decent. I'm about to get ready and cut on up out of here. I want to start recording things soon, just about life, not like a involved in my life or so on and so forth, or like these life videos. I want to talk about more serious matters like politics, religion, family, society, a lot of things like that, man. And the point of me doing that is to just talk about the world from the average person's point of view. I'm no intellect. I'm no thinker or nothing like that. I'm the everyday average person, and people forget about us, and they forget about us, and they forget about how we function. What do we do? How do we figure out life? How do we? This thing is starting to itch the crap out of my hair. How do we figure out life? How do we look at the politics of the world, and how do we look at religion, and if we are Christians, what I'm saying, like, how do we see the world and view the world in light of there's certain things going around. I like to understand stuff. It's like I like to understand thought processes, and the way people think, and the reason why things happen. And it's strange because I have people in my life who act like that's a bad thing and I should just be quiet and go along. And that's not, I've never been that way. I've spent a great deal of my life trying to be that way and trying to live up to that standard of just go along. But it's problematic to me. It makes you into a sheep. Like, you have your own questions, your own mind. You're not supposed to ask them. You're supposed to just go along with the majority or whatever. And that's never been me. It's never been me. In fact, like, so much so to where, like, it became a problem to me. Like, I just hated it, man. And it kind of brought this insecurity in me that wasn't healthy, that I struggled with, man. And it's nothing wrong with me. I'm a person who looks at the world not so much different, but I'm more analytical in the way I look at the world. I'm more logical and reasonable, and that's demonized. And if you are a logical, reasonable person, you are demonized, and you are told to stop doing that by people who also say that they're logical and reasonable, which is so strange to me. But you're told to stop, and so much so that there's even people in this world who would demonize and make people who are logical or reasonable make them look like bad people. And I know that not, because we live in a logical, reasonable world. Everything we do and say is logical or reasonable. Even the people who speak against. And I have people that say, oh, you always trying to be logical. You always trying to be reasonable. You think you better than everybody. You think you know it all. Or you think you always right. All stuff like that. But that's not what it is. It's just that we live in a world that operates off of logic and reason and realities, right? We don't want to go to our banks and deposit $1,000 in there and go back in there to withdraw $50, and they tell you don't have $50. You don't have $50 in your bank account. When you know you just deposited $1,000 in there the day before. That's logical, reasonable for you to believe that the next day you will have $1,000 in there. You know, they can't just tell you, no, we feel like you don't have $1,000 in there, so therefore you don't. We don't go off of that. We don't go off of, well, they told us, well, the guy before you said you didn't do that yesterday, so you didn't do it. We don't go off of that. We don't go off of, well, I asked 50 people if you deposited $1,000 in there, and they told me you didn't, so therefore you didn't. It's not about the majority thought. It's about actual truth, actual reason, actual logic, so on and so forth. Now, there's little things in there that I will agree to, and I will agree about, like there's a time. It's not always the best time to be truthful, but there is a time. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can't never be truthful. Like sometimes somebody may be going through something, and to tell them the truth in that moment would just make their situation worse. So you wait until things are a bit better before you tell them the truth. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they need to hear the truth. It's tough love. Sometimes they are going through something, but yet if you don't tell them this, the situation will get worse. So there's nuances into everything. So I'm aware of those things, but just because those little nuances exist does not mean that we're supposed to just ignore truth in totality. There's a lot of things that's happening, that's going on. A lot of things that was taught, a lot of things that was said that I've learned to be false. That I've learned is false, like not opinion, not in. I don't even know what I just said. It's not a matter of that's my opinion. It's not a matter of somebody tricking me. No, it's the truth, and it's problematic. It totally changes the narrative of a lot of stuff that we was even taught in school, and people won't like it. Not because it's a lie, not because it's not true, but I think a lot of people put their identity and they put a certain worth to certain things and certain aspects of life, or whatever you want to call it, that their identity is in it, and to take it away, it's like take away their identity. And I can't talk, but we're gonna get through this. And I think that's what the problem is. But I just don't care. And when I say that, I don't mean that in a malicious way. It's like I would never teach my kids certain things that I was taught, and that those things kept me. It hindered me. It made me afraid. You know what I mean? It made me feel like things was pointless. It made, I would never and the things I was taught, it wasn't true. It just wasn't true. Things happen. It's what in reality, things happen. In reality, there are evils in the world. In reality, that's just the way it is. But to live our lives as if that is the overall, or that's the majority of the experience, like that is the rule and not the exception, is insane to me. So I just don't do that. And I want to talk about those things, man. religion, politics, social issues, any and all things. I don't want to be about just one thing, man. Because again, I'm just an average person who is navigating this life in this world using the abilities and the resources that I have as just an everyday average person. You know, again, I'm not a thinker. I'm not college educated. I'm just a person who just want to make the right decisions in life and who thinks for themselves. You know what I mean? I'm not driven by emotions. You know, so in other words, I always teach my kids this, like, you know, don't make decisions based off of your emotions. Don't deem something to be true just because you feel like it is, or because a bunch of people told you that it was. It's true because it is true, because there's evidence for it, because it is, and evidence must be not, because evidence can point to the exception and it don't point to the rule. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people find the evidence for the exception and make it the rule. That's not how it goes. What's the generality of it? You know, in general, what is it? You know what I'm saying? What is it actually? You know, of course, there's exceptions to everything in the world, which is it's hard. That's why to me a lot of things doesn't make sense, because the people who argue for certain things, they argue based off of the exception and not the rule. But you can use their same argument back on them, because they would say this XYZ is going on, and you would say no, this is what's going on. So they're saying that's what they're saying is a rule, and they're saying what you're talking about is the exception. And what you're saying is that what you're talking about is a rule, and what they're talking about is the exception. It's just like a circular argument to me. It doesn't make sense. So we can't do it from that point of view. We have to bring forth evidence, proof. We have to show that what I am saying and what you're saying is true, not based off of just what you say. It doesn't matter. And another thing I always teach my kids is don't let your emotions, like I said, don't let your emotions dictate what's right, what's wrong, or what's true. Instead, take what's true and what's right and let that dictate your emotions, right? So yes, it's true and right that this bad thing happens, but it's also true and right that that's not often. That's not the rule. In generally it doesn't happen, but it does. You know what I'm saying? So what should my emotions be? What should it look like? You know what I'm saying? I'm a black guy. Elephant in the room moment right now. I'm a black guy, so there's a lot of racial things going on. I don't believe racism is as big as the problem, the issue, as people make it seem to be. But I believe racism exists. I believe racist things happen. But in general, is this are black people living the same way, under the same racial fears as they lived under in the 1920s or 30s, in the 1800s or the 1700s? Are we living under those same fears? We don't live that way. As a matter of fact, if you look into the lives of black people today, you would think they have no worry in the world, especially a racial issue. You wouldn't even know that. You wouldn't even think that. They traveling, they look nice, they having fun, they going out, they partying, they getting educated, they starting careers, they're starting businesses, they're having families, they living in lavish homes, they're living in middle class homes, so on and so forth. Even people that's living in poverty, they're not living their life as if the white man come to get them. No one's living that way. But something happens that involves a white man and a black man, and it's not no evidence is being shown to whether or not if it was a racial issue or not. For the most part, white man, black man, racism. You know what I'm saying? Until evidence comes out, and you watch. If you go back and look at all these things, you go back and look at them and see how fast they died off. Right? The ones that's hard to prove that it was a racial issue dies off just like that. Benjamin Crump ain't nowhere to be found. But the ones that they can work with and feed off of and make it stays around for a long period of time, and nothing ever comes of it. Because Again, I'm not saying racial stuff don't happen. Of course it has. I've had my fair share of dealing with racist people. My first time experienced racism was by a cop, and the cop beat the crap out of me. And I was all of a bit of 15 years old, and at that age, I've never ever even encountered a cop, even though I lived in a very bad neighborhood, riddled with gang violence and drug dealings and the typical stereotypical black man story, right? I lived that, and I've experienced racism from one cop that I know was a racist cop because of the stuff he was saying as he was punching me and slapping me in the face, and his reasons for even stopping me, he had none. I'm just walking home from school. That was it. Didn't do nothing. Just walking straight home from school. But so I've had my experiences with racism. And I know it looks like I know what it feels like. But I'm not going to say that's my general life. I don't live my life. My gosh. I don't live my life as if white people are hiding behind trees trying to take me down, or in every job or career or business that I get into, white people are looking to take me down. I don't live my life that way. And nobody I know live their life that way. Because if you did, it wouldn't look the way you live it. It doesn't look that way. You just have a certain fear that you have taught yourself, and you live by that fear. That fear is not based off of anything that you experience. It's based off of what you have heard, what you was told. You never looked and see if it was true. You never sat down and thought critically and logically about it. You just believed it because that's the narrative that black people was being taught. That's just one thing. But I don't teach my kids none of this stuff. And trust me, my kids ain't missing nothing. They hear it enough in the world, on the streets, and social media, but they don't live that way either. In fact, I truly and honestly believe that our children, my kids, the kids of people who is 42 years of age and older or younger, well, I'm going to say younger, their children, all this racist crap would drop drastically because they don't care. They don't see this stuff. They don't say nothing. And some of them even speak out. But look at their lives and how they're living. There are more interracial couples in our children generation than they are in ours, even though it's quite a bit even in my generation. But it's dying away quick because people don't see this stuff. You have something happen on the news, and that's it. Racist people exist, and let me say this: they are all kind. They come from all ethnicities: black, white, Indian, Native American, Mexican, all of them, Asian, French, all these people, man. There's racist people in every group, and I don't change the definition of words to match my particular narrative that I'm trying to spin. The word racism been out from what I've read and from what I've saw since, like, I think the first mention of it was like the 1600s or something like that. And I think that it became real popular and well spread in the 1900s, and it already had a definition to it. So these other definitions of talking about in order to be racist, you have to control the economical status or whatever it is, or the country or town, whatever. That was never in the definition. It just simply means you believe the other ethnicities are far less. In other words, you believe your ethnicity is more superior than other ones, like white supremacy. They're a racist group. They do racist things because they believe that the white people are a more superior ethnicity or race. That's what a racist is. Nothing more, nothing less. You can't add, you can't change the narrative, and people do that because they want to push their narrative. So in other words, people who want to say that black people can't be racist. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh no, they can be biased. No, bias is what it's the result of being racist. What are you talking about? You can't be racist without being biased. Like you can't be racist without being biased. And you can say, oh well, they don't hate white people. They just I don't even know. The stuff I've been told doesn't make sense to me. Like if you got a bias towards somebody, if you don't like somebody because it's color of their skin, for whatever reason that is, you believe that they are less than or they are whatever. You don't have to say the word less than. If you think that they're ignorant, if you think that they are hateful group, that's speaking down. That's making them less. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It's so racist means that what it means when it first came out. All these new. You look up in the dictionary right now today, and see what the main definition of racism is, and watch how it doesn't mention nothing about controlling the opportunities and the money of the country or the whatever. It got nothing to say. It says nothing about that. But I don't like is how they do adopt these newer terms and put them in there as if let words mean words. Like they say the Hebrew language. Let words mean words, man. Like we have a lot of words, and we have the ability to create new words. They do it all the time. They create new words and new phrases that speaks to an ideology or an idea that they are putting out there for the first time or trying to create or whatever. They create new words for stuff like that. Do that. Whatever word, create a new word for a person who controls the economical status or economical whatever of the country and they are the majority, whatever. Create a word for those people. And they think that their group of people is more superior and they look down at other groups. Create another word for that. But a person who look down on other ethnicities because they feel their ethnicity is more better, that person is a racist. And you can be a black person and be the black ethnicity. Black people are better than white people. You're a racist. If you hate white people just because of the color of their skin, because you think that they are evil people who needs to be eradicated, so you're a racist. If you hate white people, think white people are going to get you and they're no good, they're just trying to bring down black folks and we need to stay away from them, and you're a racist. Like that's what the racists do. You do the exact same thing racist white people do, but yet you're not racist. You're biased. It's mind-numbing stuff. So as you can see, that's what I want to talk about. Stuff like that, man. I want to get into those things. Heavy topics. They're controversial, heavy topics. That's going to get me called out my name. It's going to get me put down and so on and so forth. I don't hate black people. I love black people. In fact, it really bothers me. It really bothers me to see how black people allow themselves to be manipulated, and then they defend the people who manipulate them, all because of an emotional feeling, right? And then they say stuff like this is what black people have been taught. Whenever somebody starts to speak sense to you and challenge you, and whenever they're saying stuff you can't answer them, tell them this. That's your experience. That makes no sense. Because again, I can tell you the same thing. I can tell you the same thing. Or say, that's your opinion. I can tell you the same thing. There has to be something that is outside of you that makes what you're saying true. Right? There has to be evidence of it, right? Or they say you can't judge or something like it's so all this stupid stuff, and they none of it works. None of it really says anything. It's just made to sound like it's something, but it's really not. And I see that a lot, man. They've used everything on me. And again, it's me just observing the world and just like, this is not right. Like every other ethnicity is thriving. Even Latinos, they're thriving, bro. Like they're thriving, and black folks are still talking about they're a victim of something. And I want to talk about that because I want to ask you how. How are you living that way? If you can do whatever you want to and be whatever you want to, and you feel confident going after it with no resistance, how are you oppressed? How? Let's talk about that. Help me understand. I don't see it. It's not my experience. It's your experience too. You experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing the same way. You can't say that. You don't know what I'm experiencing. Okay, cool. Tell me what's different. Don't lie. Be honest. Can you work? Do you got a job? Are you taking care of your family? Do you desire to have a business? What stop you from getting that business? Is white people telling you no, denying you, or what's happening? If they all denying you, like, are you meeting a certain criteria? Well, if I was a white, and then not only that, man. Anyway, see, this is my problem. Rabbit hole, and it's not a hateful thing. I'm just sincerely trying to talk about these things and put them out there. I want to understand the mindset of people. You're not a project to me. You're not an experiment to me. But if you think that I'm the only black person or the only person that thinks this way and wonders these things, you have to. You ain't getting out much. You're in a bubble. I've been on and I've been on both sides, and I still pay close attention to the other side. I've left it in mind and heart, but I haven't left it to where I no longer deal with it. No, I still deal with it. I still watch it. I still listen to it to understand. And it's mind-boggling to me. You can't talk to people who think different from me. You know, the Trump haters and so on and so forth, and the Republican haters and the Democrat onlys, the liberal only. You can't talk to them and have a deep conversation with them because they get emotional. They get angry. They get mad. They get upset. And it's for no reason. It's weird. And it's like, what is all that for? What is all that for? It's a conversation. Just talk. And so, I don't know. Maybe I could find somebody out there. Maybe one day I'll find a person out there who I can talk to, who will just talk and have these deep conversations without getting unnecessarily emotional. And I'm a coon and I'm tap dancing for the white. Ain't my day about nobody's skin color, no white man. I say I don't care a lot, but I need to find a better way to say it because it's not that I don't care. It's just not a big deal to me. When I meet a person, I see their skin, I see color, but I don't care. All I care about is your attitude, your mentality, your personality. If I see if you're a Republican, I don't care about what color your skin is. I care about your attitude, your character, the way you treat me, the way if you respect me or not, the way you talk, what do you believe in. Certain things you believe in that I don't want to be around people who believe that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you black, white, Latino, Republican, Democrat, liberal. I don't care about none of them. We could be best as friends. I don't care about that stuff. All I care about is the respect that's there. The friendship that's there. The character. That's all I care about. Like, if you voted for the opposite person that I voted for, I do not care. I don't think you're a horrible person that needs to be eradicated from the earth. I don't think you're Hitler and all the other type of stuff. I just think that we think differently. And I will hope that we can sit down and talk about it. And disagree with love and respect. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I want. But you can't, because people who think different from me, they have been taught a certain kind of a way. They have been told certain things. They've been lied to tremendously. I mean, not on a small level, not on a micro. No, they have been lied to heavily, however you say that word. And it's the hatred. Some people have a large amount of hatred built up towards another person based off of beliefs and even the way they voted. some people live in this world where they just don't want to have nothing to do with you because of the way you vote or what you believe. Some people live in this world where they just they act like what you believe or whatever doesn't matter, and so just ignore it, right? It's to me it's not taboo. It's like it's strange to me, man. It's strange. Like it's strange, man, and people are diehard about certain lies and I think we didn't go, but some people get mad because you show proof, and I know I spoke about this a little bit earlier, but they get upset and mad, and so it comes to the question of even like what do you consider to be evidence and proof? And sometimes they'll tell you what they consider to be evidence and proof. Okay, cool, easy. Here you go, right here. And then they tell you, oh no, they lied. That's not true. They created that. They made that up. You falling for a lie. It's like, but the evidence is right here. You say if I had evidence, you can show them video evidence. I've seen video evidence. Oh my gosh, bro. Video just showing the proof and the truth, and somehow people see it differently. Stuff like videos and stuff like that, it's not open for debate to me. If I watch a video of a black man pull his gun out or brandishes his gun, shows his gun to a white man, black man does to a white man. Let's say a black man, white man gets into an argument. White man's an older white gentleman, probably in his 50s. The black guy is probably a younger black guy in his like 30s. Now this never happened. This is just a fictional story that I'm using as an example. White man, black man get into an argument. Maybe it's because the black man got out his car and hit the white man's car door with his car door. Got out his car. So the black man got the car. I go, hey man, you put a dent in my door. Black guy, man, I don't care about that, whatever. They get to arguing, you know what I'm saying? Let's say there's a shoving. The black guy get into the white guy's face. The white guy shoved the black guy. The black guy then pulls his gun out, holds it to the side, says, what you gonna do? What you gonna do what? What, huh? Not talk crazy. And then, you know what I'm saying? And the white guy said, I don't care about that. They argue. And then the black guy goes to hold his gun up. And the white guy's also armed, but he pulls his out and shoots the black guy. Guess what that is? Guess what that is according to some people? A racist white man just shot a black guy. A racist white man just shot a black guy. Or it will be put that way. He should have just walked away from the black guy. When the black guy, he saw the black guy was mad. Why would he continue to talk to him? He never talked about what the black guy did. And even though that's a fictitious story, that happens. And I've seen those videos, and I've seen black people still say the white guy should have never done it. It's just like, what? Like, what should he have done? Gotten shot? And he still would have been a racist white guy who was talking crazy, and the black guy had to defend himself. Like, that's the world we're living in. Like, no matter what proof of evidence you show, see, in something like that, in that scenario, that example, that little fictitious story I just talked about, like, there is no interpretation, or there is no open for interpretation. Like, no, this is exactly what happened, and this is the result of what happened. But we have dumbed things down to interpretation. No, bro, there's no everything. This is not abstract art. This is not poetry. This is real life. You can't. Everything is not open to interpretation. There's facts, there's truths, and there's not. And we live in this world to where we say that's your interpretation of things, Well, that's how you interpret. It's like, I'm a Christian man. I believe in the Bible. You cannot interpret what the Bible means. There's no different interpretations. You can interpret what it means, but there's only one interpretation. There's no many different interpretations. That's a right one and that's wrong ones. That's it. You know what I'm saying? When Jesus said, upon this rock I will build my church, there's no many ways that you can interpret that. That's one interpretation to that. When Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins, there's no many interpretations for that. That's only one interpretation for that. But we open up everything to your own specific interpretations and then make it seem as if that's true. That's not true. And that's the world we're living in right now. And it is causing major damage in families, in churches, at work, friendships. It's causing major damage. And we act like it's not. We ignore it. Christians ignore it. Intellectual people ignore it. People who see it but don't want to be called out their names, they ignore it. That was me. I didn't want nobody to call me a coon or racist or tell me I hate black people or tell me I wasn't black. Even though growing up, many white people told me I wasn't black because I didn't drink. I didn't get drunk because I never smoked weed. I never got drunk. I to this day I don't drink. I'm 42 years old. I don't drink. I never been drunk. Don't care to be drunk. And I have white people telling me because I don't do those things, I'm not black. Isn't that an insult? But that just goes to show you the way the world thinks. If a white person say you don't drink, like, nah, you never been drunk, I'm like, nah. You don't smoke weed, you don't get high, no. Man, you the whitest, you ain't black. You the whitest black person I ever met. Or you ain't even black, man. How you black and you don't do none of that? If black people hear them saying that, and they would agree. That's the way we believe. That's the way we think. Even in the church. Why is that not something that people are saying that's racist to say that? It's not a put down. So black people gets high and drunk all the time. All black people do. Like, getting high and drunk is not a good thing. All those portrayed as a good thing. There's even black people who don't do that, who don't get high and drunk, but they won't say that getting high and drunk is a bad thing, even though the reason why they don't do it is because it's a bad thing. They won't say that because they don't want nobody to say that they're mean people. No, objectively, getting high and drunk is a bad thing. Nothing good comes from it. Like, a lot of bad stuff comes from people who get high and get drunk. A lot of bad stuff. Not a lot of good stuff. But people are scared. Oh, I'm not gonna judge nobody. I can't judge nobody. Yeah, you can. You're supposed to. Everything, your whole life is you judging people. You judging people for judging people is you judging people. Like, it's a ridiculous thing to say. It's not judging people that I don't do. I don't condemn people as if I'm better than them. I don't condemn them as if I don't have my own sins that I'm dealing with or have done, I'm committed. I don't condemn people for those things, and I don't condemn people who have done the same thing I've done. Because I've been there before. I try to help them out and say, hey, that's wrong. Saying something is wrong is not condemning them. Like, that's not what. Anyway, again, let me get up out of here. Good talking to you people. That's me. That's who I am. Over and out. Stay up. Peace.